Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's edition of Read TFOS, where I take old stories I've narrated and update into modern audio standards. This particular story is called Henry the Engineer, written by Grey Wolfen. Boss, can I talk to you for a moment? Henry, the human engineer, seemed worried. A worried engineer was never good, and a worried human engineer was usually the sign something very bad was about to happen. Captain Urok had learned long ago. Is there a problem with the ship, Henry? Henry had only been in the ship for a year, and Urok still considered him a fresh shipper, despite his skill. The captain had seen no signs of problems, but humans seem to have ways of knowing before anyone else does. Nothing with the ship, more with the crew, or I guess, with me, really. Henry sighed. Everyone on board seems to act like I'm either unstable fusion warhead, ready to blow at any second, or that I'm just some sort of two-headed freak. Oh, no offense to Bullock. I mean, he's supposed to have two heads, isn't he? Anyway, it seems like it might be the better for everyone if I just ducked out on the next landing. Running his hand through his hair, he paused for a moment. I figure telling you now would give you time to post for a new engineer. I will miss this rust bucket, though. Henry reached up and gently tapped the supporting bulkhead above his head. To answer the easy part first. Yes, Bullock's race does have two heads, normally. As far as the other, we won't be docking for a few weeks. Come by my cabin after your shift. I think we need to talk about this, feeding you have. 2 hours later, in the small cabin, Urok dropped his captain job and began the much more difficult, all too often job of counselor, and more important, friend. Urok sat in a chair with a small table set up and offered his most recent engineer a drink as he came in. Let's talk. You are a human, and yes, that makes things odd for the rest of the crew. I've worked with 2 other humans before, but most of the crew has not. Your breed is still rare in this part of the vacuum. They only know your type through legends and stories, mostly greatly exaggerated. I know. They look at me like I'm some sort of monster. Deathworlder who'll eat them in their sleep. I just get tired of it. Henry slumped down in his chair and quaffed part of his drink, enjoying the warmth of the scotch. Urok's quills rattled slightly, his race's equivalent of a laugh. My dear Henry, it's not fear, it's awe. Your human's most charming and terrifying quality is that you do not realize how truly exceptional you are. Why do you exercise in the cargo area instead of the recreational area? Well, everyone is staring at me after I broke that one machine. I still owe you for that too. It was easier to run in the cargo area, and I can get up a bit of speed. Work up a sweat. I hope you don't mind if I used some of the empty cargo crates as weights. I didn't want to take all the weights from the wreck area. You're an engineer, but you don't see the issue, do you? You bent the weight bar in the machine, the one designed to hold up under twice the maximum that anyone else here can lift. You bent it on accident. Then there is the running. You do realize the crew has taken bets on when you'll drop from exhaustion or be killed by your insane weight routine. What exhaustion? I do enough to keep from getting out of shape. I'm no power lifter. I mean, I don't even break 50 kilos of most things. Urok laughed again. Yes, your easy workout is more than most of the crew could do with maximum effort. Do you remember when those useless slime-brained loaders on Zoltan almost killed Krillin? Sure, the idiots used the wrong tie-downs. And when they dropped it off the lift, the whole bastard fell, because the straps snapped. Damn things nearly crushed her. You told that crew boss a new one after that. I don't think they will make the same mistake, at least not with you. Henry lifted his glass in salute. I did express my displeasure. However, the fact that Krillin was not killed is because you were able to shove the load away from her. Her species is one of the frailer. That load would have crushed her instantly. You reacted before anyone else even knew there was a problem, shoved it up and to the side, holding it in place long enough for her to get clear. You instinctively knew which way to push it to keep anyone from being hurt when it fell. On top of that, when the strap snapped, it slashed your arm. Orak gestured to the scar that crossed Henry's forearm. That wound would have put most people out for a month. You were back in hours, and most of that was waiting in the med clinic. Well, the glue stuff they had worked great. It didn't hurt as much as stitches, and itched less as well, Henry shrugged. It wasn't that deep of a cut, and it didn't hit anything vital, just another hazard of working in a loading area. Orak sighed. You still don't get it. You save a crew member by blocking almost a ton of freight before anyone else can even react, get a wound that will cripple most people, possibly for life. And you are back after some surgical glue. Henry stared. Am I really that much stronger? I mean, back home I was really one of the geeks, not the jocks. That's why I'm an engineer after all. Deathworld geek, in other words. Far above anyone from a sane planet that isn't trying to kill you every single day. It's not just your physical strength, though. There are races stronger or faster. When those slaver pirates hit us on Chilean, pretending to be with the Hexa trade house, you knew that it was set up and warned us. How did you know? I don't know exactly. Lots of little things, I guess. The accent was wrong. They came in from the wrong direction. The scan was far too strong for a simple locator. The way they moved on the ship. How inefficient they were at cargo handling. There were lots of little things that just didn't add up right to me. Henry shrugged and swirled his drink, thinking back to the attack. Orak gestured at him with his mug. Deathworlder. Nobody else saw that. Nobody else has the evolutionary background to pick up all those things. Those tiny cues to danger. Because no one else comes from a planet where the damn herbivores can and will kill you. But that's not the only reason the rest of the crew are unnerved by you. You ended up smashing through their airlock with a hammer, and then finding the pirate bridge and breaking in, telling the commander, and I quote, "Give up now, or I will rip your spine out of your arsehole and feed it to you." Okay, maybe I could have been a bit more diplomatic. The engineer did look a bit embarrassed by that part of the story. Oh no, that is not the important part. Everyone is used to the insane human doing insane things, like using a hand tool to bash through a reinforced bulkhead in 3 or 4 blows, or giving dire threats. What unnerved them was what happened after, when you found the Trellin cubs. Confusion crossed the human's face. I played with them? That's what's so scary? Orak couldn't help but laugh. Yes, you went from a raging Deathworld barbarian to, come here, little ones, going and comforting them almost instantly. That was deeply unnerving for many of them. Beyond the fact that they had never seen a human be nurturing before, seeing an enraged and angry human suddenly allowing tiny furry balls of teeth and claws to climb and nestle in his clothing. Well, let's just say it shattered some preconceived notions. Was anyone mad I called them cute little kittens of fluff and teeth? I really don't want to find out I accidentally started a war or something because I insulted the wrong creature. But they really do look like kittens when they are that small. No one is mad. Well, other than the pirates when the local law showed up. I do think some of our crew were worried that you were about to eat the cubs, though. But I would never, they are just no. A look of shock and horror crossed over Henry's face. 5 minutes before finding them, I believe that you had just smashed in a Yodi's helmet, thrown him at 3 of its cohorts while screaming, "I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you to death with them." Henry winced. Did I really say that? I kind of got caught up in the excitement. Adrenaline kicked in and, well, heat of the moment and such not. Orak's squirrels instinctively raised up. No, I don't know, thank the makers. I hope never to experience your adrenaline. It seems quite horrifying to me. But we do have it all in tape. I found out later they used the threat of having you return to encourage a complete confession from the entire crew. Urak turned his view screen towards Henry. Let me show you some numbers. Since you have been aboard, our food and life support requirements have gone up 35 and 18%, respectively. Our fuel costs have gone up by 9%. However, our speed has gone up by 13%, and our time in dock for repairs and resupply has dropped by almost 35%. I'm a businessman, Henry. Food and fuel are cheap. Time is very expensive. Since you've been aboard, we have made an extra 8 to 12% on each trip, and cut down our travel time even more. The end result is that we are making on average almost 15% more per trip, not to mention the rewards that pirate capture. That's why I want you to stay, Henry. Besides, our little craft is due for some upgrades. What sort of upgrades? New cargo modules. I think that we are pushing what we can hold right now. The Gavronics are up against the safe workload most times. The captain shook his quills again. No, actually we might dump some cargo pods. We are going into a new trade route. The reward, along with the trade-in on our engines and power plant, means that at the moment, 4 Pulsar 33 drives and a new triple force fusion power plant are waiting to be installed. How would you like to be one of the first human engineers to work on a Dalath tech, and the head engineer of the fastest ship in 20 sectors? We're going to be one of the 5 ships holding perishables. Henry's eyes bulged at the news. Holy crap! 4 Pulsar, a top-of-the-line triple force. Wow. Whoa, boss, do you know how fast we can go with those things? Yeah, not even coming from close to redline. That's what, 6.5 times faster? No way I'm jumping ship now. I want to see what we can do with those things. End of story. I would like to thank our T5 members and patrons, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Vidmori, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.